I have not sent these prophets. If it's not sent, my dear saints, if it's self-initiated, if a man picks himself up and goes and speaks, my God, the world is full of claptrap and noise and gift of gab, and this is the most valuable of all ages. There's never been such a sea of talking and words and profusion of writings and mailings, and we're swimming in it. But where is the man who is sent? And sent with a word that has its auspices from the throne of heaven and is the now present truth as it is in Christ Jesus. God did not send these men. Presumption doesn't say enough. Of course, it certainly is presumption. It's deception of an ultimate kind by men who don't know him as they ought and have not sought him as they ought. And yet they have an inkling, a disposition, a flair, a certain thing, and they're ready to go off with that and say, thus saith the Lord. There's such a shallowness. There's such a casual air. There's such a lack of the real knowledge of God as God. There's so little time spent in his presence and the knowledge of him for all of our talk about his presence, that the first stray thought that comes, boom, and then we have the audacity, the gumption, the unbridled arrogance to say, thus saith the Lord. The Lord spoke to me, the Lord said to me. Doesn't he know that when it comes forth, it's hardly more than a cliche? Doesn't have enough weight to be sustained in a paper bag. There's no weightiness in that utterance. There's nothing oracular, there's no freshness, there's nothing that suggests that it has come from the throne of God, that it's a now present statement. But you know what? The whole audience drank it up and loved it and applauded it because it made no requirement of them and came with a certain air of titillation. Can you understand? The whole scheme of things stinks. It's a rotten fraud. But it's amazing how it could be sucked up by God's people, and there's not one who blinks, because you've not kept your heart with all diligence. You've not guarded your spirit. You've opened it for any intrusion of anything that purports to be spirit that is really soul. So much so that the distinction is blurred, and anything that comes that has some appearance of spirituality or whatever, with an ability to stir and touch emotion, is received of you. You don't know what price you're paying to be so indiscriminate and so acceptive of anything that comes as being somehow from the Lord, because it ostensibly celebrates him and therefore mutes your spirit and dulls it and makes you less capable on the next occasion for being able to discern between soul and spirit, until you're finally taken up in the whole soulish enterprise and become functionary in it yourself. Because of my calling, I'm jealous to keep the integrity of my inner man and of my spirit. But you know what that means? It means sticking out like the proverbial sore thumb. While everybody else is celebrating and falling out of their seats or whatever, or crying or laughing, you're sitting there like a dum-dum. You're completely unmoved because it has not touched your spirit. Looking unspiritual. There's a price to pay for integrity, for guarding your spirit and your heart. And if you're not willing to pay it, we'll be caught up with the whole stream and be less able to discern its character and finally be participant in it.